soccer. I failed algebra, and I miss you sometimes. We're at war again.
I love sport, and I played everything and anything I could get my hands on. I was in Boy Scouts, I was in keyboard, I was in swimming, gymnastics, loved fishing, loved the outdoors. I did soccer. I was playing ringette, actually, at the time. I had a mullet, a unibrow, shades of a mustache. I was a tomboy. I was playing every sport out there. It had nothing to do with organized sport. Every lunch hour, I was out there playing with the guys. Sweating, I'd come back in just dripping and just out of breath and red-faced. It was disgusting and it was awesome. And I've heard that you guys are the same way. And you come in from lunch hour just disgusting and sweating and having played. That's perfect. But when I was 10, I was eating dinner with my parents. And I just, out of the blue, I had this thing in my head for a little bit, and I decided to announce it at dinner, that I wanted to play for Canada. And my dad goes, pass the salt. He didn't mean to dismiss me, but by putting that goal out there and saying it out loud, it became real, right? All of a sudden, it wasn't just in my head. Other people knew what I wanted to do. 10 years old, well, I was probably still the same height, so 10 years old, and Canada. That's a big gap, isn't it? That took me 11 years, and I did it. I played for Canada. I played in 9 countries against 20 different countries. So life is pretty good for me, hey? In a game, well, actually, let me preface this. This is why we didn't invite the younger kids, because there's some lessons that sport teach you about life that are sometimes, they're hard and they're scary, and for me this is a bit personal. But I'm very happy to share with you guys, and sport will teach you different lessons. It'll be different for everybody. But life will give you a test. And whether that test is at some point in your life, you're working and you're supporting your family and you lose your job. Or maybe something really bad happens to someone that you love a lot. Or maybe even the boy you love breaks your heart. It could be anything. My test came in the form of this sport. In a game against England, in England, I was carrying the ball just like that, tucked it under my right arm, running down the right side of the field. The English defender came across, and rugby is a full contact sport, just like hockey, just like football. There's no equipment, and things happen. The thing that happened was that the girl hit my head with her head. They took me off the field on a stretcher to a hospital in London, and they took an X-ray of my brain, or an MRI. And it showed a little pool of blood in my brain. Head injuries are in the headlines a lot right now these days. A lot of concussions, a lot of brain injuries. I was knocked out for 10 minutes, and my brain started to bleed. I don't remember the next 2 months of my life, and when I started to come to again, I couldn't walk or talk. I went from this amazing person, an athlete, and so accomplished and tons of confidence to one step out of bed, on my face. I went to say something, and nothing came out. I was there in my head, I had it, but I couldn't get my body to cooperate with my brain. And to everyone else, I looked the same. So this is the part that I'm not going to scare you with, but here's the thing. If you do bad in a test in school, what do? In the back. You try again. Try again. Perfect answer. So I tried again. If there's a skill in sport Let's say your right crossover in hockey is really bad. Your team loses. What does your coach do? He'll probably skate you. And then you work on the skills that you're bad at. Get your wrist shots good, your slap shots good, but your crossovers are terrible. What do you work on when you're by yourself? So, for me, this was walking. So I went to the doctor, and I learned how to walk again, step by step, and it was extremely embarrassing and very humbling. You talk about not having confidence, or being really embarrassed, and too embarrassed to even look your friends or parents in the eyes. It's easy to talk about now, and I just kind of fast forward through it all. So that was a year. I was getting my body and my brain to get on the same page. You would think the last thing I'd want to do after all of this is come back to sport. But just like I said, it's those lessons that I learned, sport and play and games, and those teams that I never made, working hard like that taught me to apply the same thing to my life. Sport brought me up, life knocked me down, and where sport can build you back up.
I won't be the same. Hey, West Virginia, hey, North Dakota. I think I love you, but don't even know you.